Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, let me see. I've got a weird thing on the screen there. Yeah, what does that say?
That looks good.
What
Over
is
here too.
what?
Why is it Jonathan?
Oh, there it goes.
Mark, okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Brian Eddy, and this is the Making of D&D Talk. And we got a whole bunch of friends with us here today, which is awesome. We have Dwight Sullivan, lead developer, lead designer. What are you? I don't know.
Senior game developer.
Is that what it's
Lead,
officially?
lead,
Okay.
lead game developer. I don't know.
Okay. And we have Jerry here, Jerry Thompson, who did the amazing audio and music and wrangling of all the speech and everything. Paul
Thousands of lines of speech.
Paul Chanamkit. Did I get it? That's close enough? Okay. Paul was in charge of all the video that you see on the display, everything that's in there, which is an immense job on this game.
How many LCD artists were there total, Paul?
We had up to 14.
14, several out of house.
Yeah, this is double the normal production. So just to give you an idea of the scale of this project.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have Zach Pros, a newcoming to Pinball, but he did the writing with Dwight on the game, the storyline.
Zach did all the writing. I just did the screenplay.
And he was our extreme D&D expert too, so he knows everything there is possibly to know about it, I think. And then on the end, we have his dad, amazingly, Vince Pros, who did all the artwork on the game. Cabinet backglasses. This was his first full pinball, right? Yep. He had done some work for Stern occasionally in the past, but this was his first pinball, and knocked it out of the park. Vince has got an amazing history. He's done movies. He's done actual D&D artwork. He's done Magic the Gathering, right? It just goes on and on. Yeah.
We just got back from a convention for Magic the Gathering in Atlanta.
Oh, awesome.
And if anybody wants to go see like Black Phone 2 or Welcome to Derry, I did a lot of the work on both those movies.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's just jump in. We got a lot of slides. Since we have a good portion of the team up here, I'm going to go through some of the playfield development stuff a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And kind of let you guys talk.
Yeah.
Where is Elizabeth and Corey? Are they here?
There they are.
Way in the back. Oh, come on. Okay. Well, you're going to have to call them out.
Yeah,
Maybe we can get them up here.
Every software question is going to them.
Okay, so let's jump in. And this is somewhat interactive. If people have questions along the way, just throw up your arms and talk, and we can do it. Yeah? Is yours on?
Yeah.
All right, okay. First off, this is definitely a team effort, as people have probably heard. Pinball, it's not one person. It is a whole team that makes it. But there is kind of a core team, which is a lot of the people you see up here. Obviously, me as the designer, Dwight is software, Vince Pros was artist this time. Thomas Malcolm and John Rothmel were mechanics, and Tom, you're not here, are you? Oh, I was hoping Tom would show up. But I got a picture of Tom there in the bottom left. Yeah, he is Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So
since he didn't show up, he's whatever we want him to be.
That's true. Yeah, and same with John Rothmel. He's French, so I thought that was pretty close too. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't show up.
But I like the top right picture because that's Vince.
That is Vince.
And now you guys can believe it.
I'm really serious. That's my best Ernest Hemingway.
It is.
Shot.
It is. And if you know Vince, that pretty much does epitomize Vince. I think that captures all of Vince. But it's a bigger team than even that, right? There's lots of support people at Stern that make every single game happen, and this probably isn't even a complete list. But these are people who all had a piece in the game in some way, shape, or form. You can see that artist list is really long that we were talking about. Okay, so where do we start? I think every designer and team does it a little bit differently, but this is kind of how I start. We get a license or a theme. I pretty much start with a blank playfield every time, and I start with kind of defining the story, the core experiences, the toys, and the layouts of the shots. I always start from a blank sheet and try to pull the elements from whatever we're doing that are the biggest and most important, and try to make cool things with them. And then we start developing right at the beginning. Me and Dwight were in this, and right at the beginning of the concept.
So I knew we wanted like a choose your own adventure kind of story.
Yep.
and I didn't, I never made one before, so we were just kind of winging it, and that was just examples of me trying to figure that out. And then at some point Zach got involved.
All right, we'll show some of that later.
All right,
We'll show
all
what
right.
happened when Zach got involved. Okay, so playfield concept. Obviously, that's what I start. Once I kind of define some of the elements and toys and stuff that I want, then I start trying to sketch some stuff out and lay it out. So this is AutoCAD, and this is you can see kind of the shades of the game here forming, right? There's a left ramp there. There's this giant device with 3 balls in the center that's not quite there, but there's a gelatinous cube on the right-hand side. So there's pieces.
The shield is big.
Yeah, the shield is monstrous, as you notice
It
there. It
goes
was
across
covering
the
the whole
whole
thing.
playfield.
There was a little upper playfield up there, I think,
Yeah.
at some point. Yeah.
Wasn't the playfield on the right before too?
I think it was. Yeah, this was really early on. So again, it's just quick sketches to try to get ideas out to see what would work, and we talk back and forth all the time to try to figure out what would work best with the game. So, and this is a little bit more refined. You can see now there's actually a dragon on the playfield, and there, yeah, there's the upper
Yeah,
playfield.
the
It's
dragon
on the right-hand
moved the
side.
playfield with his
Right,
tail.
right. Yeah, he was actually under the ramp at one point, so the ramp would lift up and he was supposed to come out, but there just wasn't enough space for that.
And see that part in the middle there with the shaded kind of paper look?
Yep.
I did that.
Yeah, that's the map right there. Yeah. So then start playing with the toys, right? These are just quick sketches of the dragon again under the ramp at the time, right? And what he would do and feed balls and be moving left and right and shooting them at you. And I really wanted it to be a battle with the dragon, and I think we achieved that. It really feels that way. Some concepts for the dungeon. Originally, the dungeon was actually, as you can see on the left there, it was 3 balls wide. But we decided that became a little too unwieldy, and it was just a lot of weight to lift up, and
It got in the way.
yeah, and it kind of got in the way. So we shortened it down to 1, and I think it worked out just fine.
Yep. Yep. And you can see the shield change shape.
The shield moved down now. It's in the right place that it was, but it's a little bit bigger there than it actually ended up. Gelatinous cube, that changed too along the way. That used to have a front entrance ramp to it that would drop down while you go in from the front up to the gelatinous cube. But we decided that from the complexity of making all that work, that really wasn't worth it. So we ended up just having the back entrance to the cube. And here's the upper playfield that we talked about. There was going to be a castle, D&D and castle.
Maybe we should put that on the next
right?
slide.
Yeah, maybe. You think that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I can think about that. And there used to be a little castle walkway that kind of crossed over without any sides to it that you're going to have to get across. So a lot of this stuff is about we try things, and I try a lot of things at the beginning, and I know they're not all going to make it in the game. So there's usually 2 or 3 probably things that we play with that don't end up making it.
Yeah, in the beginning, Brian disappears for like 3 or 4 days. I think he goes into his sub basement, like a mad scientist, and he tries all kinds of stuff, and then comes out and goes, "I have ideas."
That could be true. I'm not sure. Okay, so once we kind of have a rough layout of ideas, some toys and stuff, we kind of start some rule development.
And then Zach got involved.
Yeah. So yes, that image there on the left-hand side, that's the start of Zach.
And the right.
And the right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that right is just a close-up of like one of those dots, just so
So
you
Zach,
know.
explain that. Like, what were you thinking, man?
Well, you guys were talking about, choose your own adventure. So every choice you make has to split off into a new decision. And then going across Faerun, you have to have all of these different people that are intermingling with each other. So the different colors are like the different cities. So red is like Westgate and blue is like Arabelle.
Shit.
And
Gary
then you
Stern's now a
travel
cameraman.
across the city. And
Gary, you could cut my wages, man, if you want. Like, that's
Things
hard
have been a little rough in pinball. Gary's now moonlighting as a videographer, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, right.
All
Well, thanks, Gary.
So sorry, Zach.
Zach.
You got interrupted by Gary Stern being a photographer. Like, oh, Gary. So wait. So Zach, get Zach's picture there. So Zach, finish your story.
There you go.
yeah, it's just a choose your own adventure that everything has to go off into something. And I figured it's better to have more to go off of than you can just trim away the hedges and then make something that is actually realistic.
I have to get a picture of this.
You all understood what he was talking
All right. Woo! All right. There you go.
All right, Chuck, Chuck, take that from him.
right. Who let him have that? Come on, Chuck.
Uh,
All right. Thanks for the help, Gary.
Gary Stern, guys.
Now you can see why it's fun making pinballs, right?
All right, I think we're off track.
I think we're a little off track.
So Zach, just to sum it up, you made that because you wanted to make this. You had all those ideas. There's tons of ideas there. That's all from Zach's head that didn't make it into the game. Like that whole red section on the right hand side is all vampires.
Oh yeah, whole vampire quest of
Like
underground crime
right,
lords.
And Zach is a lot like his dad. He planned every single little inch of that. Right? He figured it all out and like who's the bad guy and how it works and and then we cut it out of the game.
So, but we probably have like 6 or 7 more D&D stories to tell, I think.
That's what we're doing next.
All right. Oh wait, it got worse. Well, this is supposed to be better.
Yeah. So I told Zach, I said, Zach, no, that's not what we need, right? I said, Zach, I can't work with this. It's just too much. I need you to make it more of a flow chart. Like so that I can follow it and like so that the game can follow it and again we're still just making this up as we go because we've never done a story pin like this before. The Wizards of the Coast told us to do whatever we wanted and I'm like, awesome, we need a story. So then Zach made that. Like Zach, what was that? What is that?
This is more like if you follow down one line, they all kind of bleed to. It's a much more complicated version of the other one. But I thought it was going to be simplified. This one also includes like the character pathways and their stories and
yeah, it's cool. But
yes.
Okay. So then Brian took over because I was not helping. Right.
I'm not sure what's this one. This is more.
That's more Zach. Go on. Go to the next one. All right. So Brian came and said, Dwight, it's just a pinball machine. Like we need to work. It needs to be clean and clear, and you need to work your way up, and you have modes and so forth. And Brian made a simple drawing that eventually became the drawing there on the right.
Right.
And I took Brian's idea and I made it on the right. And then I went back to Zach and I said, okay, Zach, we're going to pick and choose from your ideas and we're going to plug them into this map. And then that's what Zach and I did after that. And it became the picture on the left. The picture on the left is me and Zach talking twice a week on Zoom and me and writing down ideas about how the story goes and how it connects and what does it do.
So all that work was not wasted. Sometimes it takes a big file.
It was a lot of learning.
Yeah. And this is just showing it kind of forming on the map. Yeah. Because Dwight really wanted it to be real places and kind of make sense on the real map.
Every step of the way, whenever we could, I wanted to use real D&D.
Yep.
Like I practically programmed the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide under the hood. Yep. Like everything is like the game rules dice. The game does everything as you play it. That's just me trying to figure out what all the different characters are going to do.
Yeah, and what specialties they have.
Yep.
Okay, so now we get into building a Whitewood. So we have some ideas out, and we have some playfield ideas, rule ideas, and such. So we start with the AutoCAD that gets moved into SolidWorks, which is in the center, which then we start building up one. This first one I kind of hacked together with a bunch of parts and stuff just to kind of feel it out. Are the shots kind of going to work? Are the spacing's good? And things like that.
The playfield smelled like his sub-basement, though.
Yeah, a little bit. And then you can see here's a dragon, right? We had a dragon on the playfield, if you guys remember. So this is us just kind of getting an idea of space, what will fit on the playfield, what won't. So then we start up with the cabinet and backglass art. This is kind of all going in parallel at the same time. So we're developing everything as we go. And this is where Vince Pro steps
Yeah,
in.
that's some awesome drawings by Vince.
Yeah, so there's a ton of drawings I'm going to kind of cycle through here, Vince, but if you want to talk a little bit about some of these.
Yeah, we kind of were just kind of spitballing a lot of the monsters and stuff like that, and just picking out which ones we thought would be most appropriate for the game, and I just love drawing monsters, so it was a lot of fun getting to develop all these guys, and we did concepts for these characters.
That's the party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you choose from.
And what was cool was Zach and I, like, we had like a 2 months head start maybe, and we were writing the story, and Vince then drew everything from the story.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's so fun about it is that
Yeah.
because I got Zach to bounce things off of. He knows this universe so well. I mean, he's a dungeon master and all, but like some of the characters were like original characters, like that guy in the middle and the guy in the end, Diego and Balinor, and it was great developing these guys and making these characters.
Does it
just
say that on
come
the
to life.
pictures? Because I'm impressed that you knew who was who. I bet most of the people in the room didn't know that was Diego on the right.
Diego's
Yeah, that's the
beard.
guy that's on the side of the
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
Is it a
That's
question?
awesome.
What I love about these sketches from Vince is there's so much detail in them. It's just crazy. I don't know how you do it, Vince.
So, did you get any assets from the licensor if you wanted to use them, or what did you get from the licensor?
We pretty much didn't get anything. I mean, a little bit of a style guide, and mainly the books.
So
right,
yeah,
were our
with
reference.
with D&D, they're very they have a massive like concept art Bible that all these characters have. Uh, there's like a basis to all these characters and how they're like, especially dragons and Tiamat. Those characters have to be very specific, and their scales, their teeth, everything has to be exactly the way D&D kind of portrays them.
And that's
Yeah.
why we got lucky. That
That's-
Vince,
yeah.
Vince,
But since I
Vince-
knew all that stuff,
yeah, Vince
I
had
was
that
able
built-in
to-
knowledge.
Yeah,
and that saved a lot of time
I've
for
been
us.
working with Wizards since like 2006.
Yeah.
So they're it was pretty
And
fun.
Vince and I have worked together like 20 some years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah,
so which
yeah,
is
we're
a
like-
strange coincidence that. And
Paul was with
Yeah,
us
Paul
like back
too.
in the
Yeah.
early
So-
2000s.
Yeah, the first person I thought of when this thing came up was Vince. It's like, yeah,
I
he's perfect
appreciate
for it.
that, buddy.
Yeah. But all sorts of here's more of some of the characters in the game.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we were able to reuse and throw onto the field. This is one of the first passes I did on the I believe that's a pro, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is you blocking stuff out, right,
Yeah.
and getting a feel for it, which then turns to a tighter sketch. Right?
Yeah.
And now this is looking closer, but it's still not quite what we ended up with.
And you can see there the fighter in the front.
Yeah.
It's not the paladin.
Originally, we were going
Right.
for like a Conan the Barbarian
Yeah,
sort of guy.
that's-
And, Zach and I are huge fans of Conan, so.
But
I
then the
wanted-
party changed, and that became a Dragon
Yeah,
Ball.
yeah. Which I think is better.
Yeah, me too.
It kind of fits more in the world.
I think it was your idea, actually, Vince.
Oh, well.
You said you wanted a Dragon Ball. I think yeah.
But it really did work out well because
Yeah.
those two talked all the time back and forth. Zach would tell him about the story, and Vince would say, "Oh yeah, I could draw something with this." And
Yeah, think of me like Worm Tongue just whispering in his ear.
a little bit tighter, and now you can see it changed up again. And then cabinets. You started on cabinets, same type of thing, right? We doing sketches on the cabinet sides, and what we started with didn't always end up being in the game, but we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, we explored a lot of ideas.
Yeah, on cabinets especially.
Again, I love doing it, so it was like I'll do like a million more of these freaking drawings. That was a good one.
This is my favorite.
Yeah,
that
this,
picture.
yep.
There's just so many people on that
premium.
page.
Yep, you can see. So this was the first of the LE backglasses, which is incredibly detailed, a million things going on, and I think we all looked at it and Stern said, this is just actually too much, which usually doesn't happen. It's like we're usually trying to fit more and more stuff in, but this one was just so full of stuff. We said, Vince, you got to pull back a little bit.
You know what's interesting? Like the design of those two dragons coming at each other like that.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing I came up with for the whole game, and I just was wrestling with it like for like a whole year, I was wrestling with trying to make that work, and what we ended up with, I thought, fucking
Was a good balance,
I'm
perfect
sorry.
between them. Vince is behaving. That's normally Vince right there. It sneaks out.
I sit alone at home every day drawing pictures, and I never see people, so this is really unusual.
I think this crowd would appreciate it, Vince. So no worries.
Vince, there's nobody in the room, man.
Same with the cabinet. You know, what it ended up being and where it started on the LE, both sides. Okay, so let's go back to the rules a little bit. This is where I think we have something roughly to play with on the game, and we've talked about a lot of ideas. And now we're trying to figure out, well, how is it gonna all work together?
Yeah, and what is it? How does it work?
Yep. So this is where we start usually too.
Yeah, Brian and I start laying out like by now I have lots of ideas, and this is me communicating the ideas to Brian. I'm like, hey, this is what I think we need, and this is where this would go, and this is what this would do, and so forth. Fun fact that those blue diamonds never made it in the game because we wanted to do artwork there, but they are. They are.
Didn't Vince make us do that? He said,
No,
"No, get
no.
rid of those. I need artwork
Right.
space."
Those are the artifacts. Are they? Yeah, they're the artifacts.
Yeah. But that is a challenge too, because we do want some space for art, and it's always a balance between direction in the game.
Who needs
fighting art?
I need inserts.
Yeah, I think that we threw the dragon in just for inspiration. It's probably slightly different. And then Dwight makes a lot of spreadsheets.
So, but I'm proud. I'm very proud of this spreadsheet. I do make a lot of spreadsheets, but this is the first time I took all of the monsters that we were going to do, and actually the spreadsheet that's in the game now is bigger than this one. But
right.
So I took all the monsters that we're going to do, and that's all the stats that affect the game as you play. So as you play, the game like references all this spreadsheet on in real time and decides what to do.
Yep. And there's more spreadsheets.
Yeah,
I think these are the characters.
I'm trying to decide. Well, if you're a paladin or you're a cleric, what are your bonuses?
I think there's some more. Right. Yep, there's another one. Yeah.
I like spreadsheets.
Yeah, only 37 more. Hang on, guys. Okay, so
Brian likes to draw.
Well, people would think this was probably your artwork because
it's great.
Yeah, exactly. But this is actually mine. Yeah. I got a chance to draw art on this, and it looks pretty much exactly what Vince drew for the game.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is. I traced over that.
I thought so.
Drawing, literally.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna send it to you, but I figured I probably should. And so this is Tiny's Tavern, obviously.
You needed somebody to color it in, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So since this was Vince's first playfield too, right, we gave him a lot of direction as to what's important in pinball, how do we call out shots along with art and story, and how all the monsters and other stuff we wanted to play will fit together. So we did up some documents for him to kind of guide him, but man, we didn't have to give him that much guidance. He nailed it.
Yeah.
I really loved working on playfield. It's like my favorite part of the whole machine because it's like you have all these different perspectives you could play with, and all these. The rules are defined, but they're almost like elastic. You could stretch things and move things and kind of not really pay too much attention to what how things would sit in reality. So it kind of gives you that illusion that things are going to roll in the wrong way and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was nervous, and you nailed it.
Yeah. I think the most impressive part, I think, when we first saw it was the way he did the map, because it looks like this perspective down into the game, and it's like, we swore, me and the art director at the time, that there's no way that lined up with the actual inserts.
Yeah.
We had to actually bring them into Photoshop and lay it on top of the playfield, and it's like, oh my god, they work.
And that was
magic.
The cool thing too, is that I put the inserts in as like in perspective on the playfield, so it felt like they were like kind of
looking down
at them at them like that,
Yeah, it was an amazing idea, but again, that's where the whole team aspect comes from. Like, everybody brings something cool to the game.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And playfield, right? You start coloring, and this is one of the earlier versions. Probably not so early, midways. Yeah, this one isn't that far off.
Like that. So again, there's 30,000 men in the front there, right? All those soldiers.
Yeah, right down by the
guys there.
Yeah,
a lot of dudes.
Like,
Yeah, I think
what that guy on the far left, Vince, like third from the far left in the third row. What's his name?
His name is Fido.
Fido. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
they all have a backstory too. So if we had more time, Vince would like tell us the backstory on all.
Zach actually wrote the entire.
He wrote the whole entire.
It's like the whole army had, everybody there is the Minotaurs. They're all got names. They all are beating each other over the head with something.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that sketch. That must have drove you crazy.
No, it was.
You
Awesome,
loved it.
Man. It was awesome. It was fun.
There's so much detail in that. Okay, so then other development, right? That's not all. We besides art and playfield and such, we start getting into music and sound.
Yeah, so Brian said there was this guy I worked with between Pinball. Brian did video games, and there was a guy named Chris Velasco who has done tons of video games. I think his most recent was like Borderlands 4 or something like that.
Yeah, just
And he said, I think he'd be a great fit for this. So we reached out to Chris, and he did some great music for the game. And then it came time to talk about speech. And I've done over 25 games in the last 10 years, and this is the biggest speech ever in a game. And I did many 12 to 14-hour days where I was cursing both of you, but I've got a cheat sheet here.
Mostly Dwight, though, right?
Oh,
yeah,
always.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
So we needed a dragon, and Dwight, of course, did Star Trek: The Next Generation in a few years ago. He didn't like me to say how many, right?
I don't care. But I do have a fun fact here. But maybe you're going to spoil it.
Michael Dorn was Worf in Star Trek: The Next Generation, so we were like, he would be a great dragon. So we got him. And you want to insert your fun fact now?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly where you're going.
Oh, well, I was just going to talk about some of the other voice people.
So I directed all, like, how many voiceover people did we have? 10, 12?
We had 19 characters. I'm not sure.
No, but how many people?
Well, Matthew Mercer, Laura Bailey,
just
Marisha
a
Ray.
number.
Well, yeah, let's go with 10 then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a cheat sheet.
I directed all 10 of them,
so many.
which was awesome. But one of the 10 was Micah Burton.
Yes.
And one cute story she told us was that her dad, LeVar Burton, still has a Star Trek Next Generation game at their house. And she's getting a D&D, so that she said she's going to put it there right next to the Star Trek Next Gen.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a generation. There.
So these were some of the best voice sessions ever. I mean, and we ended up, if you don't know how voice people work, normally they'll give you 2 or 3 takes of each line so that you have different inflection, or you can choose what works best. So I ended up cutting up and labeling over 11,000 speech lines, which is far more than you would normally have for a game.
Yeah.
And then
We'll do it better next game.
you had 15,000.
Yeah, we'll break the record. Don't worry.
And we had also celebrities like from My Chemical Romance, and we had Kevin Smith. I mean,
Michael Dorn.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It was just a great cast. I think Brian has some samples.
3 from Critical Role. How many of you know Critical Role? Geeski,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. Geeski didn't even raise her hand.
Oh, there we go. All right.
She's not paying attention.
Okay, so
Sorry, Dungeon Master was Matthew, and he was just amazing.
Yeah, he had like 900 lines.
Yeah, and he read them, nailed them almost the first
Yeah.
time every time.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, I've been directing VO for on and off for over 30 years, and Matt Mercer and his wife are 2 of the best I've
Yep,
ever worked.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
like they were just amazing. Like, yeah.
So I have a few samples here. So maybe you can ask who this is, and then we'll.
Beware! Beware! Make haste! Make haste!
Wait, who is that?
Alas!
Was it Kevin
Kevin
Smith?
Smith? Yeah,
Okay.
who got Kevin Smith? Yeah, that's right.
Do you have a prize? Do you have prizes?
No.
No.
But good guess.
We have no prizes for you.
Well, if Thomas would have shown up, we could
Right.
give him prizes.
Thomas has our prizes, and he's not here.
Okay, next one.
How long has this been here? How long has this been here?
Geeski? Yeah.
Let's visit Lighthold next time.
All right,
Can we?
let's go on to the next one.
Ah.
And you're commenting on that. So you want me to read the green ones you said? Yep. Okay. Take one. Extra ball.
No,
Yeah, have an extra.
That's not right.
That's right.
I haven't seen
It
this
should be.
before.
I haven't either.
Right. Oh, those are blue. You said green.
This is the actual
So
session.
Gore 01
Oh.
on the far left.
Got it. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Do I sound like that?
Oh. The countdown. Can I punch the timer? We can still do it. Don't falter. Hurry up. We're faltering.
Does anybody know who it is?
We faltered.
Okay. Can you put just a little bit more energy
wow,
into?
That's great.
Did you get it?
Yeah. He deserves 2 prizes now.
All right. Who was it?
Come to Lakes to make a deal at 9:30, and I'll try to help you. I can't promise anything, but I'll try to help you.
All right.
As Fizmo is handing you the potion, a large dog snatches the potion and runs out the door.
Oh my God.
Okay,
That,
this
we
is an
need, we
easy
need to
one.
hear you go. But you're the DM doing Fizmo's voice.
That's Dwight.
Gotcha. Is Fizmo's the little halfling, right?
Yeah, he's a halfling merchant.
Cool. Nidar told you to buy a potion of dragon's blood. As Fizmo is handing you the potion,
I'm getting goosebumps.
So who was that? Anybody? Yeah, Matt Mercer, of course. Yeah.
How many people are Critical Role fans?
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, one more.
Almost.
Ha. Almost. Time's up.
Yeah.
The cough is not in the
A little
game.
louder and
Yeah.
I don't louder.
Actually,
Is that him?
that is. So
Um,
he was actually sick.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the dragon is the.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You know,
Wait, I have another fun fact.
played the,
Other fun facts.
When you
Okay.
can pause this?
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
You can, go ahead.
Yeah. So another fun fact. So Michael Dorn did his stuff, and they're all in the same studio. Like all these people came to like Titmouse Studios, and Michael Dorn did his stuff, and then a few days later, Micah Burton, LeVar Burton's daughter, she did her thing, and then right at the end, she learned that Michael Dorn was also on the same project, and then she's like, and I guess like he's a family friend, right? And so then she says, well, if Michael if Michael Dorn is the dragon, I want to do more lines. She wanted to do more like ribbing the dragon kind of lines.
All right. Okay. I think that's.
That was fun.
Yep. That was fun.
All right, Paul.
All right, Paul, you're up. Okay, so Paul, I said, well, I put a few slides together for you, Paul, and he says, no, I want to do more. So Paul's got his own PowerPoint here. This will come up.
It's 3 hours long.
The down button should work. All right. Yeah, you need them.
Turn that so you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously there's tremendous amount of work. That flow chart that Zach and Dwight created, essentially we need to create visuals for every single bubble, every single part, every single monster, every single character, environment.
Over 50
location.
monsters. Like John, how many backgrounds? Right.
Yeah.
So like
Over-
every
over
place
60.
you could go on the map had its own background, its own area, and it all had to be drawn.
And stages within, yeah.
So quick bullet points. We had to match Vince's art style. That was their original goal. I would say inspired by Vince because it's really hard to exactly match what he did on the cabinet. We had up to 14 artists utilizing multiple disciplines, 2D, 3D animation, extremely heavy on illustration. Wizard of the Coast had to prove everything, and they were phenomenal, supplying us with awesome style guides and verbal feedback and all that. D&D, this game has hand-drawn video art more than any other Stern game ever, which is pretty huge.
And there's some monsters that aren't in the game yet. I'm sorry, but they will be.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
still like 3 major updates coming,
Yeah.
and one of them is a monsters update.
Yep.
It's just working.
Is it working or no? No, you should just be able to click the down button. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
That's my art.
Yeah, so
That's-
UI is one of the first things that we design. It's kind of like a threshold that introduces the game. So this is Dwight's mock-up of all the data that he wants on the UI. Um, we got location, ball timer. We got party on the bottom, on the right side. On the bottom, we got score. Right above that, we've got info, and the most important part is the character panel, which is very D&D. So all that data needed to go in.
And what's interesting, all right. What's interesting too is that the final UI has even more stuff. Like we added potions, like mid production we added potions, and we add and the 2x thing is in the bottom right, so that it would be even more crowded.
Yeah. So this is what we came up with. Really clean, modern lines. We didn't want it to make it too heavy because we wanted the art to be the main show. No dated embossing or overly textured panels. Utilize provided fonts. Text legibility is always a priority with all our games.
And we decided early on that a lot of that data would just sort of melt away after the first few seconds of each ball. The first couple seconds of each ball, it would look like that, and then it even more minimizes.
So this is a mock-up of the monster encounters. So this is very important to Dwight. So this is a mock-up we did early on, just to figure out, hey, what's the owlbear going to do when we attack? What does it look like when an owlbear attacks us? What happens to the party members? What happens when we kill the owlbear? All the data involved. So this mock-up was pretty much the blueprint of us moving forward to do the rest of the monsters. And there was about around 50 monsters that we did. So from this mock-up, we discovered that we're going to need 4 separate poses to accomplish all those animations that you just saw. So that's idle, and that's the anticipation, attack, and hit react. So with that template, we moved on to getting the monsters done. So it all started with a sketch to get that approved. It's in front of Dwight. He makes some comments, get that colored. It goes on to animation to sketch out the remaining 3 poses. Then we have another artist filling those in. And then here's that character parted out for animation. And here's some examples of that. Finished work.
Wait, so there's a monster there that isn't in the game. Anybody know which one it is? There's one monster there that is not in the game. Oh, 2 actually. Yeah, the Drider in the bottom center, right? Yeah, the Drider in the bottom center, and then the on the bottom left is not in the game either. It will be soon, but yeah.
So here's some of the 40 monsters that we accomplished. Yeah, the artists on this character pipeline would kick ass. They're phenomenal.
I mean, there's such an immense amount of content in here in the art, and you'd think we only have so much time to do a game too, and the art team only has so much time. But Paul really took on this challenge. Right? This would not normally be able to be done because there's just so much content, and he rallied so many people from the outside and the inside to get all this done in a phenomenal amount of time.
Paul rocks.
Hand drawn, it's crazy.
Yeah, so
we're all of the artist rocks, but Paul as a management was well done, man.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of art in this game. So.
And then we did the dragons all 3D, right? The dragon and the gold dragon.
Yep. Yeah, I'll get to that. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome stuff too. So here, hero characters, kind of similar. We do sketches. We needed 3 tiers of armor, and also variations and tiers of weapons. So these were sketches early on, just to get things approved before we move on to the next step, which is fleshing out the colors, the armors. And there's also notes there about animation because, again, this character is seen in the UI on the character panel. So instead of the characters just there static, we wanted to give it some motion and life. So again, we had to part all these pieces out for animation. And a little different from the monster pipeline, we used a 2D rigging software, which essentially means that we could add bones to each part.
Who knows Spine in the room? You guys heard of Spine?
It's a software called Spine.
Hey, well, that's not counting.
Yeah, certain people don't count.
So this provided a really sophisticated level.
So all the characters and monsters, they're actually 2D, right? They're not.
Yeah, this is all 2D hand-drawn art. So from this, we get this. So these are some examples of the animation. So each character, I would say, probably had 3 to 5 different animation loops.
And then they had different clothing and stuff that they could wear and still do the animations. That's the magic of the way we did it, right? They would follow the 2D rigging even if they had a different, even like an upgraded armor on or upgraded weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
So here are all the characters and their 3 variations.
I'm sorry, that was a spoiler.
So 8 characters total.
Shh, no, they don't know that. See, they haven't.
Seven.
There's only 7 characters.
So we move on to the background pipeline. So similar thing to Vince, we sketch it out.
John's in the room. John, are you here?
Yeah, John McDavid did all
John,
this.
stand up.
All right.
John, stand up. John and I worked closely together.
All right.
Yeah. So John did most of our backgrounds. Like I think most of that is John art.
Yeah. Here's some final backgrounds. So we took what John did and we gave it to our artist to animate in a loop, bring it some life. Because we usually avoid any kind of static imagery because we don't want the game to look like it's frozen. So
it's a beautiful game. Like
It
I
does.
love the water. Look at the water.
Yeah, it just brings it alive.
Then we have wards. So all the wards get boarded up. So we know exactly what we're doing. So this gets distributed to the team.
A lot of this was Tom, right? The boards.
Tom and Olivia. Olivia did about 95.
Tom was mostly doing all of the
story.
Tom, are you in the room? Stand
Yeah,
up.
Tom's in here. Yeah. There he is.
Tom Kizabat, right there.
Yeah.
So, how many cutscenes are there? There's like 125. I think roughly.
Yeah, I got some stats.
Okay.
On the last slide.
Fine. Stop spoiling your ex.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got so the red.
Wait. Go back for a second. That's Tiny. That's the one I drew. It's right there, right? All right. Just making sure.
Oops. So like Dwight said, we have 3D models. So the gold and the red dragon were the only 3D characters we have in this game. Dwight wanted this to be over the top awards. So these are just images of me giving some feedback to 3 artists. It's like, hey, let's improve the silhouette on the wing there. Let's round out the jawline to match Vince's art. Thinner tail. Let's put some spikes in the tail.
Yeah, I think this is great too because it kind of shows the fact that it did originally derive from what Vince drew. All the images started with. So we wanted to make sure that the game matched cohesively throughout the artwork.
It kind of had to. I mean,
yeah.
Wizards would have never.
Wizards probably would have.
So boards for these guys as well. So this is blenders. This is a 3D animation, not texture or not lit. This is some final pieces here.
This is one of the climactic scenes in the story.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah,
this is spoilers. This is spoilers.
No, this is Ritual of the Chosen. This has been there forever.
Then cutscenes. So our idea with cutscenes were to have illustrated scenes presented in a way as if it was in a Wizard spellbook.
Yeah, and that was Wizards of the Coast's idea. We showed them a sample, and they said, yeah, they loved it because it looked like a spellbook.
Yep. So that gave us some leeway to not have to color these as much as we wanted to originally.
It turned out great.
Yeah. So these are some of the sketches we did. And here's some final pieces.
There you go.
So there you go, Dwight. 130 total cutscenes.
Wow.
Yeah.
24 minutes total runtime.
Tom Kizavat, and then Mark Galvez implemented them.
Yeah.
Right.
So this was, for Tom, this was about a year nonstop.
So it was Mark Galvez that made it all the color, right? Right? So it was, yeah.
Yeah, pretty
It
impressive
took a long
stuff.
time.
Yeah, incredible job.
Right, and this all started from a script, right, Dwight?
Yeah, this is me and Zach.
Script.
So, yep. So Zach had all these ideas, and then I just started writing a script. I call it the screenplay from, but it was most of the time it was in a meeting with Zach on Zoom, and I'm like, all right, how's this look? How's that? All right, what if he does this then? And all of these cutscenes most of them were 3 times too big. Most of them were like 20 seconds long, and I'm like, Jesus, we have to cut them all down.
Yeah, I think we limited to like 3 or 5 panels each too. And here's some stats. Again, 130 total cutscenes, 24 minutes total runtime. It's pretty impressive. That's 130 movie files. If you add that with awards, that's over 500 total awards. Comes out to about 1 hour video runtime, 60 plus locations. Characters, we have 60 total, and that's monsters and hero combined. Yeah. So this is like AAA video game stats. And it's pretty impressive that we're able to manage to get this all done in a pinball.
And then management came and said, never again.
So, yeah, there was a lot of dedication and passion from the artists to get this done. And if there was ever a time to give them praise, to celebrate all their work, I think now's the time to give them a round of applause.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're an artist, stand up. Paul,
yeah, I think there's a lot of them in the audience. Stand up.
Mark, John, Tom, everyone stand up.
Mark, John.
Yeah.
There we go.
And also,
and there's tons of unsung heroes that aren't here today. There's a dozen.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot. Elaine, Carlos, Bill, Brendan, Laura, John's here, Armand, Lim Cook. There's a whole lot.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Are we running over? But
we have a few minutes.
But those are 2 cool new sections to this show.
They are. So yeah, there's Paul right back there. Oh yeah, that's why it was taking over and controlling it. All right. Thanks, Paul. That was amazing. We have about 10 minutes, so I'll probably run through these a little bit quicker. So we're done with playfield 1, and we're on to playfield 2. This one has not only the shots, but all the mechanisms, or at least a first pass that we're trying to do on the mechanisms. So you can kind of see it's evolving on the left side. And then there's the center. That's the actual physical playfield that we built from the SolidWorks on the left. One thing you notice, that dragon is pretty big over there. Vince then starts to tighten up the pencil sketch on the playfield, as we learn more and we start tying down rules and where different elements story-wise are going to be. There's a sample of it going to color. And we're still working on the mechs, right? So the dragon mech, this is some of the early developments of him. And you can see he's kind of big on the playfield there. And then here's a little sample of all the others, right? There's a Latinus cube, the dungeon, the mimic, and the shield.
The mimic got cut.
Shh. So we did have a mimic on the playfield at one time, and it was kind of cool because it would pop open and show gold on one instance, and then a mimic that would jump out on another. So it was really cool. There's the dungeon mech. Shh. The dungeon was just as much about story, I think it was tied into, and as a physical device. And I think the way it was implemented with Dwight in the game,
it turned out pretty good.
It turned out is a really unique mode.
Yeah.
Here's a sample of some of the sculptures, as they go from a grayscale model into the color into the real sculpts.
By the way, some of those dragon heads you can win as prizes, and let's make a deal at 9:30 tonight.
Here's some dragons. We had a lot of dragons. We went through a lot of 3D printed dragons to try to get to the final result.
We tested the dragon to death.
Yeah. You see some really big dragons there too.
Are you going to tell them about that?
We are. Okay. I think we're going to talk about it. So I guess this is the picture that kind of epitomizes it. The dragon wasn't just a dragon come out of a cave at the beginning. He was actually a giant dragon that sat on the playfield on top of the ramps, out attacking the player. But we were kind of running out of time, and we kind of had some trouble with our dragons. So we're definitely running out of time. Our cost was pretty high at the time, and we didn't have a final dragon. And there was some issues. I think like George didn't really like how it blocked all the shots, and it was definitely difficult to mold and to keep all the ball hang-ups off of it because he was so huge and on the playfield. Um, and then Thomas. Well, Thomas isn't here, so that's great.
Good.
So
We can talk about him.
we can. So Thomas suggests, well, dragons live in caves, and we said, yeah, that's right, they do. You could be coming out of a cave, so we decided that was the solution, and that made me hate Thomas because it wasn't the original vision of the product, but at the time it was the right thing to do. It allowed everybody to see the ball pass and what was going on, and it still kept all the functional mechanism of the dragon, spitting the balls out and moving his head around. But it was a very difficult choice to make, but it was also kind of time-based, and George actually came to our savior on this one too, is because then we said, well, we still need a cave, right? That's a molded part that we have to make in a short amount of time. And he said, I can make caves. I've made 1,000,000 caves. So he came in one weekend and just I think he got a big stone actually, right? And just carved out the stone. I think it was a stone, yeah. It might have been wood, but I don't know. It could have been stone. So you can
Foam.
or foam. No, match. At least wood. Come on. So on the left-hand side, you can see that's his handmade one that he chiseled out, and then we brought that into 3D and we smoothed it out and made it work with ball hang-ups and everything else, and that ended up being his home on the final game. So you can kind of see the evolution on the left without him, the center that is with the full dragon on, and then him in the cave. I think at this point the rules are pretty well refined, right? We have to tie down at least the big things. We're getting toward the end. And then we're right into the final game. So these are the very first cabinets that we built and the very first playfield we built, which ended up being the photo shoot playfields. And then we make it onto the line. This is the first game going down the line right here that you're seeing. Okay, and there's these really cool covers on top of the games. I don't know if you guys took the tour yesterday, but that kind of keep it protected as they're going through the line, production line. You can see them there all lined up on the right-hand side, and that's actually Thomas. He's not in his kilt there, I think, but.
No, he is.
But, you can't see it. Yeah, it's under the game there. Yeah. So this is the first production startup right here, and then there's the final game. And I think that's pretty much it. So we have like.
Questions?
Thanks. We have like 5 minutes, so go ahead, Dwight.
Tom Weibel from Florida. Thank you so much for such an awesome game. The theme immersion is, I don't know how it could be any better.
Oh, we had a lot of fun making it.
As a pinball player, I'm having a little trouble understanding the map, not so much the relationship between the locations and the journeys there, but what do the inserts mean, and how as a player do I look at the map and decide how to play? If that can be explained shortly. Thank you.
So, yep. Shortly. It is a little bit confusing, and quickly, all of the side quests have 1, 2s, and 3s, and before you can do the 3s, you have to do a 2 and a 1 of the same color, and you can't play those. You can't play the 2 top wizard modes, the Battle of Gauntlegrim or the Lich of Dragonsburg Castle, until you complete the 2 3s out, first. So the fastest way through the game would be play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 of 2 colors that go to one of those 2 modes, Lich of Dragonsburg Castle or the Battle of Gauntlegrim. Then you can play the Battle of Gauntlegrim and then work your way toward one of the final 3 wizard modes. But
yeah, I think the key is that the 1, 2s, and 3s are the side quests you have to finish.
Yeah.
You always have to get to the end.
You always have to do the side quests around a town before you can do the town itself. Yeah, so like in the middle there's the Cobalt mining town and Greenest, and you have to do the 3 modes to the left and to the right of that before you can actually play the wizard mode in the middle, the dungeon in the middle. Is that better?
Okay.
It's slightly
No.
better.
Come up after and Dwight will explain it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for a great design. I just have a question. Is there a co-op mode coming, either physically?
There's a co-op mode in the game now.
Online, like where you play with friends.
No.
We would love that, but no.
That's an Insider Connected request that we wanted 2 years ago, and we had a laundry list of things we wanted from Insider Connected, and they gave us this, and this, and not this, and that, and that's just the way it falls.
Yep.
So with so much material that you had to cut and the story being so complex and so forth, any idea about maybe doing a sequel the way Richie has done his Black Knight stuff? Also, my other question, how come we have two pronunciations of the word boulette? Boulet?
So that's an old. All right, so you answer the first question.
Yeah. So yeah, we have lots of content. You know, who knows what the future? Wizards has been a great partner. We'd love to do something with them in the future. So yeah, there's always the potential. We have plenty of story, I think, left. So that's
No,
good.
we would make new story in the same universe.
We would
with the same monsters, so it would be less work on Paul.
That's true.
So the second question, there's a funny that's a like sort of an inside D&D joke. Like since that monster was created, D&D players have argued over what the correct pronunciation is, Boulette or Boulette. And of course, Boulette is the correct one. But Matt Mercer, who probably might know about the joke,
maybe,
he said it both ways just in case, and we put it in the game both ways.
Did you ask him which way was the right way?
No, we talked about it. Geeski, were you there? Okay, so we did talk about it, and I don't think he was committal. He was non-committal on which way was correct. So he just did both, and we thanked him.
All the way through that presentation, when you were showing the artwork and the back glass and the cabinet, it was always called Dungeons and Dragons. At what point did it become the Tyrant's Eye?
So that was early on.
Yeah.
Early on, we knew we wanted a tagline.
Tagline.
And the tagline was going to come from the story. So I thought up. Maybe Zach did. One of us thought up the Tyrant's Eye.
Right.
It was a lot of research into like the Baldur's Gate gods and tying together what Xanathar's fears would be. The Tyrant's Eye is an actual thing in the story, or in
the scepter of the Tyrant's Eye.
Yeah, the scepter. Yeah.
So at the end, it had like triple meaning. Like it's the scepter of the Tyrant's Eye, plus all of the bad guys are tyrants. So it's it's their tyrant. Plus then Tiamat, God, I can't remember her name. Tiamat, the Queen of Evil Dragons, she's a tyrant as well, and that's so it became like this multi-purpose answer.
This was actually a big debate within the company too,
Yeah.
as to what that tagline would be.
Management weighed in.
Yeah.
And we
actually, you know who decided? I think was Wizards. We sent a bunch of taglines to Wizards, and they ended up picking the one that we liked.
Yeah.
Not what management liked, but it's the one we liked, so we agreed, and that was good.
I paid them each $20.
That was well worth spent. Okay.
Right, we have to end
Yep.
here. Thanks.
I'm sorry we have to end, but thanks everybody for coming. Oh wait. We have dragon toys for everybody here, or at least I hope everybody. There's a lot of people, so these are
except Thomas.
That if you put it together right, it won't fall apart. But he can press his wings and he flies. So come on up and you can grab one on your way out.